Hello and welcome everyone to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. We are still looking for the missing train, but we found out that a fake train was used, and by combining an old map with the current map, we found out more points of interest. Now we are at Doncaster's train station and hopefully getting closer to solving another mystery. Oh, who's that?
A funny character. He looks anxious.
Yeah.
And he is not an Englishman.
Oh, he might be one of the Chileans from the company.
This scent is familiar to me, but in order to recognize it, I must combine my associations into one picture.
Okay. Oh, these again. Maybe something like that. Okay. Something like that. This does not look right. Oh, this looks better, right? There we go. There we go.
A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint.
Peppermint.
Ricardo.
You already know the name of this man? Holmes, you amaze me.
No, Watson, I refer to the cigar. It is a Ricardo Turrent, a Mexican cigar of an excellent quality. Quite an expensive one, too.
Mexican cigar, okay. Interesting. Oh, there, the ashtray. Pieces of burned
This
paper.
ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs. Apparently, there was a conflict between the Mexicans and the Chileans.
Oh. Interesting.
A greenish-brown cigar with a strong aroma, a hint of peppermint. These ashes and cigar stubs are similar to the one that we found on the floor. Some of the stubs were recently smoked. There are others that appear fairly old.
That means that the fellow spent several days here. Judging by his clothes, he's hardly a traveller or a tramp.
Well concluded, my dear fellow. A man who smoked the Ricardo brand of Mexican cigar spent several long days at Doncaster Station.
Interesting.
This ashtray is full of ash and cigar stubs.
Okay. That is a little peculiar. So we have a conflict between the Mexicans and Chileans, and then we have Mr. Robinson. This is quite an international affair. What do we have here?
Newspaper articles on horse racing. Hurdle, steeplechase, and flat racing. He is a true enthusiast, Holmes.
Some tickets.
Betting slips for horse racing. The sums are quite impressive.
It can be an expensive vice. This man had probably used all his savings.
Huh, interesting. Maybe some gambling issues here.
A telegraph.
Alright. Well, maybe we can talk to this
Holmes, look.
Mexican
There's a
fella.
flooded area over here.
I believe that the flooded area might be worth checking.
Certainly do so. Maybe they sank the train. Would be an option to get rid of the train. Oh,
This post bag
station
belongs to the
masters.
station master.
okay, interesting. Letter to wife. My darling, I ask you to trust me this time. I shall soon have more than enough money to repay the house mortgage. It's only a matter of days. You may continue living in the house without me, since that is your wish. Please know that I still care about you and hope that you will forgive me one day, despite all of the harm I have caused in recent years. Yours, Edward. Yeah, kinda makes the whole gambling issue thing more likely, right?
The station master appears to have found himself in some financial trouble.
I reply to your last warning letter. I wish to assure you that I shall soon honor all of the latest installment that I need to pay according to my debts. Advocate agency. Interesting. Okay.
Railway post bags.
Would be an easy target for someone to bribe then, right? Definitely needs the money, seems.
Watson, would you like some tea?
No,
No? Okay. No tea.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. John Watson. We are investigating the case of the vanished train.
Is that so? Well, good day, gentlemen. I'm Mr. Duff, the station
Duff?
master of this station. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can, but there's not much that I can tell you about last night.
Well, we'll certainly have some questions, but we'll see. Let's just look around. Melancholy. No watch. Probably pawned off. Missing button. Ring mark. Now tell me about the flooded area.
It appears that you may be at risk of some flooding along the line here.
You mean that the whole bloody lake is at our feet?
Quite so. But it is strange, because according to my map, there should be a quarry here, and behind that, the lake.
How should I know? I only arrived here a few months ago.
And where did you work before that?
I was working in Nottingham, but I asked for a quieter place, so they transferred me here. Life is cheaper. I can't really complain.
Okay. Now tell me anything about the passengers.
Did any passengers leave or board the train last night?
No. I saw no one as usual. I reported the train's passage by telegraph, just the same as all the other nights.
So you're a gambling man, aren't you?
I observe that you are a gambling man, Mr. Duff. You had hoped that your relocation to this small town might have helped ease your addiction, but it was not to be.
I beg your pardon? Addiction to what?
Oh, Mr. Horse Racing.
We found a number of horse racing tickets inside your office. Well, we all have our weaknesses. An expensive obsession, surely, for a station master.
It is none of your business. I occasionally attend the races with my colleagues. And anyway, that's my private life.
Okay.
There was a gentleman of Mexican origin, I believe, in the waiting room. Did you notice him?
What? A Mexican? Here in the back of beyond? Are you quite sure about that?
Okay, that is
Goodbye,
interesting
sir.
and
It is obvious
suspicious.
that we cannot inspect the quarry. Instead, we can check the beach area around the flooded lake.
So that is suspicious that he doesn't think about a Mexican person there, because like we concluded that he must have been there for days. So that is interesting. Past Doncaster. The train passed through Doncaster station. The station master reported that the train never passed through Doncaster. The station master lied and sent a false report. Let's go with that for now. Can't be sure yet, but for now we go with that. Can I do anything here? Doesn't seem that way. About this building. Can't do anything here. Okay. Oh, there, the beach. Okay, we can go there. Can we talk to the Mexican fella? To a warehouse. I've been here? Oh yeah, that's where the teapot was. Don't see the Mexican guy again.
This railway branch should lead to the quarry.
Ooh.
Let us take a look. The switch is rusted, but it still works.
Not sure if we should play around with that, but... Oh.
The rail is rusted and looks old, but the railway is still usable.
Alright. That's definitely an option.
The railway ends here. That is strange.
That is strange. I mean, so if they would have tried to sink the train, we would see evidence of that. Or maybe that is why they removed that. Could be sunk. The train could have been sunk in the flooded quarry at Doncaster station. The train cannot be sunk in the flooded quarry because the old rail leads there. Yeah. Let's go with that first. Like, again, can't be quite sure yet, but for now, let's go with that conclusion. We would see any evidence of that. Of the train going in the water. In that case. Okay. Might be all we can do here, right? Since the Mexican isn't here. Okay. Let's look around. Some flooded area. Inspect the beach area around the lake. Examine the side railway branch at Evesham. Examine the side railway branch that begins at the railway switch. We have the railway switch here and then Evesham. Let's go to Evesham first. Continue our investigation there. It's getting quite curious. Now that we know that we have another party involved in all of this, with a Mexican guy. We have the Chilean company. We have Mr. Robinson. Some very untrustworthy station masters. Makes things complicated. Ah. Now we can open this. This does not look very promising.
There was a building here not so long ago.
But I don't understand, Holmes. Why would anyone destroy the shed in such a manner?
It was disassembled in great haste. It is most odd.
Okay, that is interesting. So there were some missing railway tracks. Now we have a disassembled building. Almost like someone is like collecting material or something to build something, right?
Traces. Let's take a closer look.
Are those railway measurements?
The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches.
Okay.
The vehicle would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials.
Okay, so someone disassembled the building,
This
put
road should
all
lead
of that
to the
material
town of
in the
Evesham.
truck, and disappeared with it somewhere. Oof, that's interesting. Go further down here? No. Does the station master have anything to say about this? Okay, and talk to him.
It appears that there was a small warehouse near your station and that it was disassembled. Why is that?
It was burgled overnight about 2 weeks ago. The police have already started their investigation, but I doubt that they'll find anything.
What was inside the warehouse?
Nothing of value. A few 100 feet of standby rails and some spare railway
even
parts.
more,
But it wouldn't
more
be easy
railway
to steal
parts.
all of that. Why would anyone want to?
Someone
See you
is
later, my
clearly
good
stealing railway parts, right? Somebody stole the rails to temporarily cover the missing section of the old railway to the flooded quarry. Maybe. That wood could be sunk. That would mean that it passed Chesterfield, though. Potentially. Interesting. Well, we'll see. Definitely have more things to inspect. So let's go to the railway switch before we go to the beach. Since that is the last area that we unlocked. So it could be obviously that someone stole the railway tracks from the Evesham warehouse and then used those to cover the gap in Doncaster to sink the train. But it could also be that someone also disassembled even more tracks in Doncaster for something else. So
The switch is rusted, but it still works.
okay, that still works. Does this lead?
This road should go in the same direction as the railway.
We go this way? Oh, or not? What am I looking for here then? Mines.
Mines. This is interesting.
That is an
It
option.
would be quite possible for someone to redirect the train towards the mines.
Yeah, it could be the from the mines. We have the mines as a location. Okay, let's go to the beach now first, though. One location at a time.
Here we are at the beach that is located near the quarry and Doncaster Station. It doesn't look like a very good place to rest. These traces were made by a carriage. Look. The distance between the tracks is about 6 feet 7 inches.
What was the distance of the
The
other
vehicle
one?
would have been heavy, as these tracks are quite deep.
Could be the same, right? Also, hoof mark.
The vehicle pressed this stone into the ground. It would have been quite heavy. These traces are relatively fresh and were made by a large truck loaded with materials. The traces found at the disassembled shed near Evesham and at the lake were from the same vehicle.
That is interesting.
An advertisement for lake cruises.
This is all very interesting.
This place was abandoned fairly recently.
Someone camped here.
Observing the coastline and the moored boats, we are able to see that the lake's water level dropped. The lake has flooded the quarry. The dam was probably breached.
Metal label.
A label with the name Las Zarpas.
Las Zarpas. Are those the Mexican? Get the beach complete.
An abandoned gypsy caravan.
Okay. Search archives. So let's do that. Find out what Las Zarpas are. Okay. First electric railway opens. Could be. Economic. Global economy.
My
maybe?
search should be focused upon the name Las Zarpas.
There. Las Zarpas. The Las Zarpas barges are leaders in heavy goods transportation. Las Zarpas label belongs to the Mexican consortium Caracal, who covers shipping, electricity services,
Here it
and
is.
mining. Okay. That is very interesting. So, the Mexican had recently utilized barges at the lake, probably to transport something heavy. The train has been sunk and flooded in the quarry. Maybe. We have a different... That bot is messing it up. What if it is an accident? Does that change anything? Robinson as a victim. Think so, though. Or pass through Chesterfield. I mean, we will have to inspect the mine, and that will tell us more about whether or not the train made it to Chesterfield. Solve them. Examine the mines and find out is it possible to hide the train there. Okay. Get to the mines. Hey.
Here are the mines, Holmes. They appear to be abandoned. This is an administrative panel. See what it says.
This is an information sign. It might contain some useful data. We should restore it.
Can we restore it?
Watson, you are a gentleman, and gentlemen tend to carry handkerchiefs. Might I borrow yours?
And where is your own?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Very well. Here it is.
There we go.
WEA Coal. These mines belong to them.
Okay. Vehicle traces again. Seems to be more narrow.
The distance between the tracks is about 4 feet 8 inches. A lightly loaded vehicle came this way. There is a wooden beam lying on the rails. A small vehicle with wooden beams went down this way.
Interesting. Okay. It's all very bizarre. But I think we will take a break here, and then next time I'm sure we will hopefully get to a conclusion as to what happened to the vanished train. Thank you all for joining me for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. If you enjoyed the episode, please give the video a like, maybe consider subscribing to the channel, share the video with friends, family, and the people on the internet. Also, if you want to go the extra mile in supporting this channel, you can check out the Patreon link down below. That all helps me out a whole bunch and will bring you more content in the future. I will be back with more Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments tomorrow. Until then, have a great time.